Shalom, party people, and welcome to the 12th C. It's October 17th, 2022, day 16 of 75 hard, 36 degrees as of 7 a.m. when I ran this morning, 3 miles in 24 minutes, 200 kettlebell swings, 200 dips, 50 pull-ups. Recap of yesterday, I did 3 miles in 27 minutes, walking and stretching, photo, 196 pounds, 1 gallon. Ezekiel 18 through 27 for my Bible reading. I continued in the 48 Laws of Power for my regular reading. I had egg, cheese, sausage sandwich on a homemade croissant. I had pancakes and country omelet for lunch, and red beans and rice with broccoli and hummus, grapes, some sugar-free crackers, dried fruit, and mixed nuts for my dinner and after-dinner snack, whatever. It was delicious. That hummus really helped the broccoli go down. Loved that. Very good. For today, obviously, I did my 3 miles in 24 minutes, 200 kettlebell swings, 200 dips, 50 pull-ups. I was pleased with that 24-minute run. That was by myself and, huffed it a little bit better. I do have a, unstated goal on camera at least, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on film. Is I would like to, by the end of 75 hard, be consistently doing my 3 miles in 21 minutes. I used to be able to do that no problem, and I would like to be able to do that again. We're 16 days deep in this one. I think we can get there. Pushed to 22 with a brother when we ran, but I'd like to be able to do 21 on my own. I think we can get there. It was 196.8 pounds. This morning I did do my photo, gallon, Ezekiel 28 through 37, walking and stretching. Continued reading in the 48 Laws of Power. For breakfast did my oatmeal peanut butter banana. For lunch had chicken cheese avocado on homemade whole wheat bread. Had an apple and sugar-free, or not sugar-free, but no sugar added, kettle cooked chips that were like seasoned with, or not avocado, that would have been really good, that were seasoned with jalapeno, and had stromboli. So I'm thinking stromboli from Pinocchio, but had stromboli for dinner, as well as veggies and hummus, and a kind of upgraded Caesar salad as well. A sister of ours made dinner, and it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. She brought it by to say that she cares about us and that she wanted us to not have to worry about, anything other than our baby. And it was very, very gracious of her, and it was delicious food. So thank you very much from the bottom of all of our hearts. So going a little bit deeper on where I'm at in the 48 Laws of Power. One of the things that it was talking about was, and obviously this whole 48 Laws of Power is, kind of a case study in what people in power are doing, how they are maintaining power. It's not celebrating it. It's not anything along those lines, but it's knowing how they do it, so that way we can avoid the pitfalls. That way, if we are going to climb the wheel of power, the ladder of power, whatever you want to call it, if that's going to happen, things to avoid, things to do better, things to do right, things not to do, those kind of things. And something this one was talking about was keeping your hands clean. And on the surface level, it's like, oh yeah, if you do right, then you aren't gonna get caught doing something that's wrong because you're worried about doing what's right. And what this book is going into is more of like having a fall guy. And so you can do bad, but if you have somebody who is going to go down with the ship so that way you don't have to, I don't like that. It's an interesting concept to read about. The book really talked about having people in power who, like, their favorite person who, by all appearances seems like their best friend. And that person is the one that takes the blame and, falls on their sword, so to speak, whether they do it intentionally or not. But The concept is, why in the world is the leader blaming their favorite person, their bestie, their, brother from another mother, whatever? Why in the world is the leader going after that person if that person didn't actually do that? And so the public views the leader as still being morally in the right and doing a hard decision. So my thoughts: if you are doing right, you don't have to worry about doing wrong. You don't have to worry about being perceived as doing wrong, because you're more worried about doing what is right. And I'm not talking about, doing the wrong thing for the right reasons. I'm not talking about your ends justifying your means or anything along those lines. What I'm talking about is actually doing what is right, what is wrong, and choosing to do what is right. Those are the situations where you will be a lot more blameless, because you're actually not doing what's wrong. Now, people may not like what you're doing. You may not like what you're doing, but choosing to do what is right. And not even going to get into the Jiminy Cricket, always let your conscience be your guide. But anecdote that this one's not mine, but I've heard this from a dear friend and a brother. Told this story all the time, that he was attending a basketball game of a good friend of his, and that good friend of his was a stand-up dude, just the way it was. And this basketball game, it was like their, I guess, premier homecoming game or whatever, and how they were introducing all of the basketball players on the team, especially the starters. They were coming up with, first name and then like a really, really embarrassing middle name and then their last name. And so it may be like John sleeps around Smith or whatever, or just adding like things that aren't good character traits to have, and just one after the other. And my brother, he was just watching this guy getting ready to come up, and he's like, what are they going to say about this guy? Because this dude's a stand-up guy, so they're either going to lie about him or whatever. They introduced him as first name Honest, last name, because they had nothing to peg on this guy. And that's the way I want to live. I want to live in such a way that the people who have accusations have nothing to stand on. And I think it means more when we're trying to put a smile on his face and not trying to worry about what's going on everywhere else. We have got to step up, man up, do hard things, and live in such a way that we're going to please the Father. Go do hard things.